I don't think of Elvis like that because I know too many artists that.
Hello, hello, my beautiful YouTube family. Welcome back to the E portion of Tell Joanne. I can't believe I said that. Welcome to the L portion of Tell Joanne. I am your girl, Joanne. Guys, I'm so used to this. Like, it's going to take a while for me to get to the L portion and stick to the L portion. But this is the L portion of Tell Joanne. Not only is this the L portion of Tell Joanne, this is the weeks of Elvis. We are definitely doing interviews of Elvis by other people, and just watching a Elvis everything, guys. Elvis everything. And hopefully what is going to be leading to is the holidays. I will be airing some Elvis movies. I don't know how I'm going to do it, guys. I don't know what's going to be on membership only, and I don't know what I'm going to actually be able to edit for YouTube. But know that I will be doing some Elvis's movies, and I will definitely let you guys know. But anyway, enough talking for me. If you are part of the family, aka you're ready to subscribe, then you know what we're about to do. But if you're new to the channel, this is when I say hello, hello, hello. Now, put me on pause, go get yourself a beverage of choice. Hit that subscribe button so that you can become part of this amazing community. And on a count of three, we'll do a cheer. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, guys, without further talking, let's continue our weeks of Elvis interviews. Let's go. First time reaction of Ray Charles' thoughts on Elvis Presley. All right, let's go.
Nobody appreciates more different kinds of music than you. That's obvious. But did you feel at the time, in the 50s, early 60s, a resentment of some of the white performers who were copying R&B stuff and selling more records than you and your contemporaries were?
I just didn't object to it. I just felt that the music it wasn't that good to care about. Now, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I'm being honest with you.
Maybe some exceptions, though. I mean, Elvis was a talented guy.
Well, okay.
Not necessarily. You know better than I.
Yeah.
Let me ask it differently. How good was Elvis?
What Elvis did, he caused a lot of the populace, if you want, and usually when people say populace, they usually mean white people, to start listening to a lot of music that normally they wouldn't have been listening to. I guess I'm going to lose at least about a third of my fans right now. But to say that Elvis was so great and so outstanding, like they say, he's the king. I got in trouble because one guy asked me this question, and I said the king of what, and he got mad at me. You see, I don't think of Elvis like that because I know too many artists that are far greater than Elvis. I think Elvis person came along at the right time, when he was a white kid that could do rock and roll or rhythm and blues or whatever name you want to call it, and the girls could swoon over him. Nat Cole got in trouble in Alabama when the women swooned over him. Got put out of town. And black people been going out shaking their behind for centuries. And what the hell's unusual about them shaking their hips and stuff? And that's all Elvis was doing, was copying that. And he was doing our kind of music. He was doing the Willie Mae Thornton, Jailhouse Rock. That's black music. So what the hell am I supposed to get so excited about, man? But I think all this stuff about saying he's the king and he's the... I a piece of bunk. Sorry. Next question. Don't ask me no more about Elvis because I've gotten enough trouble as it is.
I think you covered it, though. I don't think a follow-up is necessary.
Okay, all right.
This is so interesting, guys. So I don't know what order, and I'm not sure what order I'm releasing this video at, but I did put in one of my videos, and I said that I am doing the weeks of Elvis, and every interview that I've seen about Elvis, and everybody talks about his career, so everybody says how great he is. And I said that I am here for anything as Elvis, because again, we are human beings, and I want to hear the whole variety of it. So interesting enough, so I just watched this interview, and it is very, very interesting. It is interesting in so many different levels. So here Ray Charles is talking about his truth about Elvis. And I know that's a controversy that it's around for a lot of people where, they say Elvis is the king of rock and roll, and some people are saying that Elvis is not. And I know the whole thing about talking about Elvis within the black community and what he did for the black community or whether he took away from the black community. All those conversation has been. But it's interesting now because this is the first time out of anybody's interview that I've actually heard someone talk about Elvis and their opinion of Elvis is different from the masses. I don't feel like his opinion of Elvis was anything negative at all. I felt like he was talking from his experience, right? And if you go back to everything that we talked about, right? And I say, when I see Elvis, to me, personally for me, Elvis is all about charisma. And I felt like it does not matter to me what color your skin is. If you can go on stage and you can control the stage the way Elvis does, then it does not matter. It's just who you are. And it's just God. It's just a God talent, God given, right? And so that is Elvis for me. And I think it's so interesting that for Ray Charles, he cannot see. He cannot see, but he can hear Elvis, right? And for him, which is something that we know, you guys know, you guys have taught me, and I've learned is that when Elvis first came out and he came in the radio where people could not see him, they thought that he was a black artist. And it's so funny because Ray Charles cannot see him. He couldn't see that he was a white artist until somebody told him. So for him, when he was listening to Elvis music, as I'm getting from here to him, he was listening to his own music. He was listening to black music, and it was no different from his own culture, right? And for Ray Charles, again, this is my interpretation of it, is that he had the greatest, right? He was the greatest. He was around kings of talent, right? Elvis was just so different because, again, when you heard him, people thought that he was of the black community. But then when they saw him, it was something different, right? It was something completely different. And they saw a white guy that I felt like was not afraid to do the music of his heart, right? Was not afraid to do the music of his culture. And that was where he grew up. Like, we knew for a while Elvis grew up in the hood. And these are the music that he heard. And these are the music that he played. So I feel like for a lot of different culture, that is something like for the white culture at that time with racism and segregation, all of those things, that was something new. That was something unique, right? Because they didn't listen to black music, right? And I feel like, I know Ray Charles said certain things, but I also feel like that also shows why I do believe that Elvis definitely brought black music to a whole different level, because here it is, you have this white guy, very handsome, very charismatic, and he is doing black music, sounding like a black person. He's doing the movement that black people of that time was doing, and he is just bringing it to the next era. Again, like, I mean, I don't know if Elvis ever considered himself part of the civil rights movement or whatever it is, but again, for me, listening to him, listening to that, how I'm taking it, again, it's like, that is, again, that's a whole era. Like, he definitely, and if anyone says different, I feel like this probably would be a good interview for them to watch. Like, he definitely took black music from one place, because black music was always there. It was always amazing. It was always great. But he took it from one group and brought it more mainstream, made it more acceptable to other groups, where all of a sudden other people are like, oh, let me go listen to music that I haven't listened to before. So that was that. I mean, I definitely quite enjoyed listening to Ray Charles' thoughts. And I think it's just so real and so honest, right? Because again, Ray Charles is one of the best. He was around the very, very best. And for him, Elvis was just as great as anybody else. So to him, it wasn't that Elvis was the king, because he was used to that. Elvis was singing music of his culture, right? And then again, he was blind. So to him, he's listening to this music. He's like, oh, that's my brother that's singing over there, right? He wouldn't know anything different unless someone was like, Elvis is white, and that's just that. So that's just quite interesting. I feel like within that, it's like, there goes a whole lot of politics and a whole lot of, definitely a lot of things in there. And I think it's also interesting, as he talks his truth, he talks about, like, he may be losing some audience, right? Because people are expecting you to say certain things, right? People are not expecting you to talk your truth. And I felt like, again, he talked his truth. And what I got from that is that for him, as we say, Elvis may be the king of rock and roll, he felt like he was around a lot of king of rock and rolls, and that Elvis wasn't anything special because Elvis was like everybody else that he knew, which was absolutely amazing people. So that was a really good interview. Again, like I said, I'm very glad to see this. I'm very glad to hear that, and I'm very, very glad to hear his truth. And I took it as what it is. Comment below and let me know if this was your first time listening to Ray Charles talk about Elvis, and if you had seen this before, what are your thoughts in regards to what Ray Charles says, and if you think see it anyway as I saw it, or if you like look at it any differently. I'm very curious to know what you guys think, but I just think it's so funny that I was just saying that, you know, guys, comment below, let me know any interviews anyone talks about Elvis in a different light, and here we go. I got this one. So as I am continuing to go down the rabbit hole, continuing to hear interviews about people talking about Elvis and their perspective of that time, that era, and the man, I thank you guys for joining me on this journey. All right, I'm going to see you guys in the next reaction.